All right, let's organize our session using colors. So the basic idea is if you have, sometimes people already have their color palette enabled and their tracks are coming up all different types of colors. But I went back and defaulted everything. So we're just at gray. You can see along the bottom here that typically the default for audio tracks is blue. For instrument tracks is kind of this off brown. And for aux input tracks it's a greenish color. So what we're going to do to access the actual palette is come down to the header or the footer here, the track color code, and double click on that blue area. And they've changed this for Pro Tools 2021. But basically you have a whole bunch of stuff you can do with color. You can actually go back and forth between the dark and classic theme, and I don't even know exactly how color works in the dark mode since I choose not to use it. You have some general things like you can brighten up the text brightness and the background, a variety of things, reset that, and even the toolbar, which is really in the edit window. Let's take a look at that. Whoa, cool. All right. But really what I want to try and do is to talk about organizing our tracks by type and giving them colors to help keep that organized in a larger session. So if we drop down the tracks, what I want to be able to do is actually, I'll do one track and then I'll show you something else. I'm just going to bring up the saturation here of my general track colors. So all of my audio tracks are much more blue. My instrument tracks much more brown, much more green for the aux inputs. But I don't want my vocal tracks. So I have vocals and all my backup vocals. I don't want them to be blue. I want my vocals to be kind of this purplish color. And I'll bring up some brightness until I get it to the color that I really want. And that didn't, that's the full, I'm sorry, track header brightness. We'll do that. Okay, so I'm happy with that, let's say. But I want all of my vocal tracks to have the same color so I can visually get to them quickly. So I'm actually going to highlight the first track, my main vocal. I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to highlight my last vocal. This is a drum sample and I don't want that to be the same color. And I'm just going to click on that purple color. So now all of my vocal tracks have the same color coding. My drums, and I'm going to include the drum sample as part of the drums, but I'm going to move it over. I'm going to highlight all of my drums, and I'm going to make them kind of a purplish blue. Or actually, let's go a little brighter blue. I am using aux inputs on this particular session for different things, but I'm going to keep them green for the moment, just to indicate that they are an aux, because I'm using them as submixes in parallel processing. Let's see, I have two bass tracks, so bass and sub bass. Let's make those red so that my bass can be separated from my other instrument tracks. So E piano pad and E piano pad during the verse. So just everything that's carrying chords. I'm going to make a light blue. And again, I'm going to leave my submix that same color. I have a couple of lead sounds. Let's make those dark purple. Move those over here. Okay, so now I have, all my tracks in differentiated colors. And that just really helps as I'm thinking, okay, I need to get all my things that are alike. Okay, purple's my vocals. Now, I will say that this song is not organized in the way that I would normally even organize my sessions. I will always have my drums off to the left. Then I like to have my bass after that. So drums, bass, chords. In this instance, the keys and the leads, I'll include that. And than my vocals. And remember, click, shift, and click allows you to highlight multiple tracks at once. Um, Now, if we look at the edit window, we see that our track information here is colored, but what's not is the clips. So if we wanted to um, color code our clips, what we could do is actually highlight the clips within, let's see what color it is. Okay, so I'm highlighting here. It tells me that it's this lighter blue. I'm just going to highlight all my clips, come over there, and now my clips match. Okay, probably easier to see on the base. It's that nice red color. Highlight my clips. Now I have tracks and my clips differentiated by color. Okay, so, but really this is something that I get more involved in when I'm mixing. So I'm not as concerned about having my clips, although it's nice to have everything the same and organized and color coded. But when you're mixing, this is very, very helpful. So what else can we do? We can also kind of customize what our grid looks like. It's not so much about color coding as much as what they have added to this color palette. So in grid mode, I can brighten or darken the actual grid lines, or just hit reset. And if I'm in slip mode for some reason, they have changed that so that that is a separate kind of look altogether. Won't get into marker lines, but automation view, you can look at your, if you were to look at a track, let's say this one here, and I'm looking at volume, I could change the brightness of the waveform or darkness if that's helpful to me, the saturation of its color or not. Let's reset both of those. The line brightness, which is literally the actual automation line, and all kinds of stuff. All right, so kind of organizing ourselves with color. There you go.